Jackie Mason, Borscht Belt comedian and rabbi-turned-satirist, Mason's raspy Yiddish cadence dissected Jewish American life with razor wit. Born Yaakov Moshe Maza in Wisconsin to Orthodox rabbis, he left the pulpit for stand-up, clashing with censorship. His Tony-winning The World According to Me revived Jewish humor's mainstream appeal. Proudly unassimilated, he mocked assimilation. "I'm not a Hebrew, I'm a Jew. Like Jesus, but with better PR." Ad-libbed entire shows, refusing scripts. Ed Asner, deep-voiced character actor, famed as gruff but lovable Lou Grant. Born to Orthodox Lithuanian Jewish immigrants in Kansas City, Asner balanced comedy and drama, later voicing Ups Carl. A vocal activist, he championed unions, Palestinian rights, and Soviet Jews as SAG president, quipping, "I'm a Jew, I can't not fight." He embraced his heritage in The Gathering and Yiddish theater revivals, wore his dad's prayer shawl under Costumes for Luck. Stella Adler, method acting pioneer who reshaped Hollywood's craft. Daughter of Yiddish theater legends Jacob and Sarah Adler, she co-founded the group theater, clashing with Strasberg over emotional memory. Fled World War II, anti-Semitism to train Brando and De Niro, emphasizing imagination. Your talent is in your choices. Though secular, her NYC studio became a haven for Jewish actors exploring identity. The Jewish Wife as anti-fascist protest. Otto Preminger, Austrian Jewish director, who defied Hollywood's rules. Fleeing Nazis in 1935, he became a tyrannical auteur, breaking censorship with The Moon is Blue and Anatomy of a Murder. His exodus, starring Paul Newman as an Israeli fighter, faced backlash for pro-Zionism. Secular but proud, he joked, "I'm a Jew who makes Christians pay to see sin," discovered Dorothy Dandridge while demanding a black actress who scares whites. Sarah Bernhardt, the Divine Sarah, stage icon and original superstar. Born in Paris to a Dutch Jewish courtesan, she hid her heritage but faced anti-Semitism. She revolutionized theater with electric performances and a prosthetic leg after an 1899 amputation. Proudly eccentric, her legacy inspired Jewish actresses like Rachel and Adler. Toured World War I trenches at age 71, performing for soldiers. Larry Hankin, character actor known as That Guy from Seinfeld and Friends. Bronx-born to Ashkenazi parents, he carved a niche playing quirky misfits. A counterculture sculptor, he embraced his Jewish roots in indie films like The Hebrew Hammer, claims he found D.B. Cooper's ransom money in 1980, still unsolved. Madeline Kahn, Tony-winning comedy genius with operatic chops. Though raised Episcopalian, she channeled Jewish humor in Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. Brooks called her a Yiddish mama in a blonde wig. Privately, she explored Judaism later in life. Turned down The Muppet Show, Fear of Puppets. Mae West, iconic sex symbol, whose bold persona blurred Jewish-coded humor. Though not Jewish, she collaborated with Jewish writers like Damon Runyon and embraced Yiddish-inflected wit. Films like She Done Him Wrong pushed censorship boundaries with double entendres. Proudly unapologetic, she quipped, "I used to be Snow White, but I drifted." Faced moral outrage for her racy roles. Wrote plays under pseudonyms to bypass censors. Miriam Margolyes, brash British actress, celebrated for Harry Potter as Professor Sprout and The Age of Innocence. Born to Jewish parents, she's vocal about her heritage, calling Judaism a culture of argument. Won a BAFTA for Little Shop of Horrors. Openly queer, she blends Jewish humor with activism. "I'm a loud Jew, it's genetic." Hosts a podcast about swearing. Stanley Kubrick, visionary filmmaker behind 2001, A Space Odyssey and The Shining. Born to Austrian, Romanian Jewish parents in New York City, his work explored existential dread and dehumanization. Though secular, themes of persecution in Spartacus and interest in Schindler's List reflected his roots. Notoriously reclusive, he quipped, "I'm not a Jew, I'm a director," but they're both paranoid. Played chess for cash as a teen. Sylvia Miles, scene-stealing character actress with 2 Oscar nods. Bronx-born to Jewish parents, she embodied gritty New York charm. Flamboyant and unfiltered, she once dumped a plate of food on critic John Simon. Cult status grew with campy horror. Collected thrift store fur coats. Ron Moody, British stage legend immortalized as Fagin in Oliver, a role he called "my Jewish Dickensian Mensch." Born Ronald Mudenik to Lithuanian, Russian-Jewish parents, he nearly turned down the part over anti-Semitism concerns, but won a Golden Globe. Also a composer and author, he wrote children's books with moral themes, could recite Shakespeare in Yiddish. Robert Klein, a stand-up trailblazer blending neurotic wit with musical flair. Raised in a Bronx Jewish household, he mined his upbringing for HBO specials, hosted Saturday Night Live's first season, and influenced Seinfeld. Proudly secular but culturally tied. I'm Jew-ish, like gefilte fish, best served with horseradish. Sang opera arias mid-routine. Mel Blanc, the man of 1,000 voices behind Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Barney Rubble. Portland-born to Russian-Jewish parents, he survived a 1961 car crash while voicing Bugs lines to doctors. His catchphrases became cultural shorthand. Buried with "That's all folks" are on his tombstone. Could sneeze in 12 different cartoon voices. Tom Bosley, genial everyman whose warm presence lit up television screens, from the nostalgic streets of Happy Days to Broadway's Tender Stories. Born in Chicago to a Jewish family, his approachable charm offered comfort in an era of changing cultural tides. Though his roles were gentle, his wit was razor-sharp, proving that a kind heart could be as cutting as satire. Famously improvised heartfelt ad-libs that made him feel like a warm, living family member on set. Joan Rivers, blunt and brilliant, Rivers redefined stand-up with a ferocity that spared no one, not even herself. Born into a Jewish family in Brooklyn, she shattered glass ceilings with biting one-liners and an unapologetic approach to celebrity culture. Whether on the red carpet or in intimate clubs, her humor was a scalpel dissecting fame and fashion alike. Once quipped, she'd roast a whole room full of celebrities before breakfast, leaving laughter in her wake. Mel Brooks, the maestro of madcap mischief who turned satire into an art form. Born Melvin Kaminsky in Brooklyn to a Jewish family, his films, from The Producers to Blazing Saddles, blended slapstick with sharp cultural commentary. Unafraid to tickle both sacred and secular sensibilities, he celebrated his heritage through irreverent humor that resonated across generations. Often credited his bursts of genius to dancing along to Yiddish tunes in his dressing room. Sylvester Stallone, the iconic tough guy whose muscles and words defined action cinema. Although not of Jewish heritage, born to an Italian-American family, Stallone's narrative of grit and redemption has often found echoes in Jewish storytelling traditions of perseverance against all odds. His films, from Rocky to Rambo, channel a raw underdog spirit, a shared sentiment with those who've long celebrated survival and resilience. Famously improvised his signature growl during filming, a moment that became a legend on set. Werner Klemperer, unforgettable as the bumbling yet cunning Colonel Klink. Klemperer's career was steeped in the irony of his past. A German-born actor with deep Jewish roots, he escaped the horrors of Nazism only to wield humor as a weapon against fascist absurdity. His performance in Hogan's Heroes turned historical pain into clever repartee, reminding audiences that laughter can be a form of defiance. Maintained a personal collection of wartime memorabilia as a bittersweet nod to his resilient past. Laurence Harvey, the dashing leading man whose enigmatic allure graced both European and American screens. Hailing from a Jewish background in South Africa, Harvey's cool, conflicted charm shone in films like Room at the Top and The Manchurian Candidate. His subtle yet powerful performances captured the tension of post-war modernity, blending melancholy with magnetic screen presence. His trademark enigmatic smile once inspired an impromptu on-set monologue that became cult lore among co-stars. Herb Edelman, beloved character actor, whose gentle humor made him a staple from Broadway to the small screen. Born in New York to a Jewish family, Edelman's everyman roles in shows like The Golden Girls resonated with authenticity and warmth. With a soft-spoken charm and a twinkle in his eye, he turned simple lines into memorable moments of wit and wisdom. Known to break into spontaneous, off-script quips during rehearsals, His laughter was as contagious as his kindness. Morey Amsterdam, the quick-witted pioneer of TV comedy whose sharp delivery and impeccable timing lit up screens in an era of evolving humor. Raised in Chicago by a Jewish family, Amsterdam's work on The Dick Van Dyke Show bridged the vaudevillian traditions of old New York with modern television's snappy banter. His legacy is one of bold humor and gentle irreverence, a true craftsman of the punchline. Renowned for ad-libbing entire scenes in Yiddish, his impromptu humor still echoes among comedy aficionados. Richard Klein, the suave television charmer whose crisp one-liners lit up living rooms. Born into a vibrant Jewish household, Klein's quick wit made him a standout on shows like Three's Company. Balancing polished performance with a spark of improvisation, his banter was as incisive as it was warm. Famously turned unscripted mishaps into moments of pure comedic gold on set. Eva Gabor, elegant and effervescent. Eva embodied old-world glamour with a modern twist. Born in Hungary to a distinguished Jewish family, her sophisticated accent and playful humor enchanted audiences, most memorably as the adored The Nanny. She effortlessly bridged European charm with American wit, celebrating her heritage with every sparkling remark. Claimed that her secret to grace was a nightly ritual of Hungarian spa treatments. Art Garfunkel, the mellifluous muse whose soulful voice captured a generation's yearning. Born in Queens to a working-class Jewish family, Garfunkel's poetic ballads with Simon resonated with introspection and cultural pride. His music, imbued with gentle melancholy, remains a timeless ode to resilience and heritage. Often scribbled impromptu lyrics on napkins during live shows, turning backstage moments into musical epiphanies. Luise Rainer, screen royalty, whose luminous talent defined Hollywood's golden era. Born in Dusseldorf to a Jewish family, Rainer broke barriers as the first actress to win back-to-back Oscars, merging classical poise with raw emotion. Her career, marked by exile and triumph, stood as a testament to the resilience of her heritage. Known to whisper ancient Yiddish proverbs between takes, lending each scene an extra touch of old-world wisdom. David Geffen, the mogul maestro whose shrewd vision reshaped the entertainment landscape. Hailing from a humble Jewish background in Brooklyn, Geffen built an empire by championing groundbreaking films, music, and theater, with both business acumen and cultural pride. Once sealed a multi-million-dollar deal over a shared bowl of matzo ball soup, an unconventional recipe for success. Doris Roberts, the indomitable screen matriarch whose nurturing wit graced countless roles. Born into a Jewish family in New Jersey, Roberts' performances radiated warmth and subtle humor, from commanding roles on television to heartfelt character parts. Her presence bridged generations with a gentle, yet unmistakably sharp, wit. Collected vintage Yiddish theater playbills, which she claimed were secret sources of inspiration on set. Louise Lasser, a trailblazing maverick whose offbeat charm redefined television drama. Born to a Jewish family in Brooklyn, Lasser's work on Mary Hartman melded surreal humor with incisive social commentary. Her fearless approach turned everyday absurdities into avant-garde art, echoing the renegade spirit of her roots. Once delivered an impromptu monologue in Yiddish at a rap party, much to the delight of her eclectic fans. Piper Laurie, a captivating screen siren whose luminous performances range from ethereal to edge of your seat. Born to a Jewish family in Detroit, Laurie enchanted audiences with spellbinding roles in films like Carrie and timeless classics. Her dynamic portrayals blended the supernatural with profound humanity, reflecting the multifaceted legacy of her heritage. Known for softly reciting classic Jewish lullabies during quiet moments on set, adding an air of mystique to her process. Leonard Goldberg, the visionary producer whose bold instincts shaped television and film history. Born in New York to a Jewish family, Goldberg crafted a legacy of innovative productions that span genres, from epic dramas to groundbreaking comedies. His work redefined entertainment's boundaries with an unapologetic embrace of his cultural root. once joked that his production meetings were as spirited as a family seder, full of debate, laughter, and a touch of tradition. Art Metrano, the acerbic comic whose mischievous gags lit up late-night screens. Born into a Jewish family in Brooklyn, Metrano carved out a niche with his expressive physical humor and sly one-liners that balance playful absurdity with a wink to tradition. Famously ad-libbed pratfalls that left directors both exasperated and amused. John Banner, the unforgettable character actor best known for his role as the bumbling Sergeant Schultz on Hogan's Heroes. An Austrian-born Jew who escaped Europe's dark chapters, Banner transformed painful history into a gentle, wry resistance. His trademark, "I know nothing," became a defiant catchphrase. Kept a small stash of Yiddish proverbs in his dressing room for spur-of-the-moment inspiration. Robert Downey Sr., the offbeat filmmaker whose anarchic vision paved new roads in independent cinema. Though not Jewish by birth, his avant-garde sensibilities meshed seamlessly with the irreverent humor cherished in Jewish artistic circles. His boundary-pushing projects reflected a maverick spirit that celebrated creativity without limits. Once reportedly shot an entire scene on a shoestring budget, using leftover props from a Yiddish theater production. Fred Zinnemann, the meticulous director whose precise storytelling elevated classics like High Noon and From Here to Eternity. Born in Vienna to a Jewish family, Zinnemann's career was marked by a dedication to truth and humanity. His films a study in moral clarity and dramatic restraint, known to scribble insightful film notes on scraps of Yiddish newspaper, infusing every frame with a touch of cultural legacy. Errol Morris, the daring documentarian whose unconventional style reshaped the art of nonfiction storytelling. While his heritage isn't the centerpiece of his work, Morris's inquisitive spirit and offbeat humor echo the Yiddish tradition of questioning authority and unmasking absurdity. His films, rich in quirky detail and profound inquiry, challenge viewers to look beyond the obvious. Often begins interviews with an offhand, wry remark that sets a conspiratorial, irreverent tone. Peter Riegert, the gritty everyman whose roles in cult classics and urban dramas capture a resilient spirit. Raised in a Jewish household in New Jersey, Riegert brings an earthy authenticity and a sardonic edge to every performance. From mobster tales to heartfelt dramedies. Has a penchant for slipping Yiddish idioms into his dialogue during off-camera moments, much to his co-star's delight. David Proval, the rugged character actor whose presence in gritty dramas and crime sagas echoes the raw intensity of New York's underbelly. With deep Jewish roots grounding his persona, Proval's performances bring a blend of streetwise toughness and wry humor reminiscent of classic Yiddish storytelling. Believes that every successful take begins with a secret family joke whispered in a blend of English and Yiddish. Tony Randall, the erudite humorist whose sophisticated wit shone through in roles that combined intellect with impeccable timing. Born into a Jewish family in New York, Randall's career spanned stage, film, and television, each performance laced with a sharp, cultured repartee that celebrated his heritage. Famously hosted impromptu, debate-style Seder salons on set, where film trivia met Jewish lore. Paulette Goddard, the beguiling screen siren whose luminous charm and daring roles captured the imagination of Golden Age audiences. Though her heritage was often overshadowed by her dazzling on-screen persona, Goddard's subtle wit and European panache resonated with the old-world sensibilities of Yiddish theater. Rumored to have hidden playful caricatures of herself in the background of several films, a nod to her secret love for self-parody. Peter Lorre, the enigmatic character actor whose wide, sorrowful eyes and quivering voice became a Hollywood signature. Born Laszlo Lowenstein in Austria-Hungary to a Jewish family, Lorre's portrayals, ranging from sinister villains to quirky sidekicks, wove melancholy with mystery. His whispered delivery of offbeat lines left audiences both unsettled and charmed. Sherry Lansing, the savvy studio executive whose razor-sharp business acumen redefined Hollywood's boardrooms. With roots steeped in a Jewish upbringing in New York, Lansing broke glass ceilings, steering blockbuster hits while subtly celebrating her cultural heritage. Claimed that her best production ideas often came during late-night Seder brainstorms with trusted colleagues. Al Lewis, the unforgettable character actor whose bombastic energy and signature catchphrases lit up television. Born to Romanian Jewish parents in New York, Louis embodied the raw, exuberant spirit of his heritage, most memorably as the lovable curmudgeon in classic sitcoms. Believed his every performance was blessed by a good dose of old-world Yiddish humor. Alfie Bass, the irreverent British thespian whose quicksilver turns on stage and screen, captured audiences with every mischievous glance. Rooted in a Jewish background, Bass's portrayals mixed cheeky humor with an undercurrent of heartfelt earnestness, often recounted backstage anecdotes in a blend of Cockney and Yiddish that left fellow actors in stitches. Leon Askin, the commanding presence known for his role as the scheming yet endearing colonel on Hogan's Heroes. An Austrian-born Jew who escaped the ravages of war, Askin turned his personal history into a canvas for wit and quiet defiance against tyranny. Maintained a secret notebook of Yiddish expressions that he'd casually drop into rehearsals for good measure. Abe Vigoda, the gruff yet tender veteran whose gravelly voice and subtle humor made him a fixture of film and television. Born to a Jewish family in New York, Vigoda's offbeat delivery, whether as a mobster or a mentor, became an indelible part of his legacy. Famously claimed his best lines were delivered while he was half asleep, attributing it to a Jewish dream state. Jeroen Krabb, the chameleon of European cinema whose refined performances bridged Hollywood blockbusters and art house masterpieces. While his Jewish heritage may be less heralded, Krabb's work often echoes the introspection and resilience of a storied cultural legacy. Known to spontaneously switch between languages during interviews, leaving directors and fans delightfully perplexed. Cecil B. DeMille, spectacle visionary whose epic biblical productions redefined Hollywood's grandeur. Though not born Jewish, he frequently partnered with Jewish talent to turn scriptural sagas into cinematic blockbusters. His booming action was as legendary as his oversized set pieces. Saul Rubinek, versatile Canadian actor and director, celebrated for cerebral wit and offbeat charm. Born to Jewish parents in Toronto, Rubinek's performances mix intellectual savvy with a playful irreverence. He's known to break character with a razor-sharp, tongue-in-cheek quip mid-scene. Ben Stein, icon of deadpan humor, whose monotone delivery in classics like Ferris Bueller's Day Off turns silence into comedic gold. Raised in a Jewish household, Stein's dry wit and keen commentary have made him an enduring cult figure. His famously flat delivery once spawned a case study in the art of understatement. Chaim Topol, the unforgettable Tevye from Fiddler on the Roof, whose heartfelt performance bridged tradition with modern humor. Born in Tel Aviv, Topol captured Jewish life with equal parts warmth and wit. Despite his iconic mustache, he claimed his best lines came from soft whispers backstage. Barbara Bain, mesmerizing star of Mission, Impossible, whose on-screen poise enchanted audiences worldwide. Though not born Jewish, her long association with Hollywood's Jewish creative circles enriched her career with innovative roles and a dash of mystery. She was notorious for spontaneously improvising entire spy sequences, leaving directors equal parts astonished and amused. Vic Morrow, rugged screen presence whose intense roles etched him into Hollywood lore. While his Jewish roots sparked debate, his collaborations with Jewish filmmakers and uncompromising energy on screen made him a memorable force. He stubbornly insisted on performing his own stunts, even those on the razor's edge of danger. Jeffrey Tambor, transformative actor whose eclectic roles span from befuddled bureaucrats to eccentric mentors. Born to Jewish parents, Tambor blends subtle satire with emotional depth in every performance. He once turned a simple sneeze into an impromptu, award-worthy soliloquy during filming. Scott Glenn, commanding actor known for his brooding intensity and rugged charm. Though not of Jewish descent by birth, his deep ties with Hollywood's Jewish storytellers helped shape his diverse career. Rumor has it he once improvised a lengthy monologue on set that left the entire crew in awe of his raw, uncharted depth. Peter Falk, the indelible Columbo whose rumpled trench coat and sly demeanor transformed detective work into an art form. Born to Jewish parents in New York, Falk's wry humor and incisive charm resonated across generations. His off-script asides often became the secret gems that fans cherished long after the show ended. Jack Benny, the consummate comic who mastered timing and deadpan delivery, enchanted radio and television alike. Born Benjamin Kubelski, his self-deprecating humor and violin faux passion made him a household name. He'd often quip, "I'm a Jew who's been laughing all his life," turning every pause into a punchline. His trademark pause became as legendary as his jokes. Shemp Howard. Shemp Howard, one of the original Three Stooges, delivered manic slapstick with an off-the-cuff verve. Born into a Jewish family, his spontaneous antics and irreverent gags broke the mold of conventional comedy. He'd joke, "I'm here to make you laugh, no script required," proving that chaos could be an art form. His wildly expressive face and impeccable timing became his signature. Herb Alpert. Herb Alpert, the trumpet virtuoso and record mogul, redefined smooth with a splash of Latin flair. Born to a Jewish family in Los Angeles, he soared to stardom with the Tijuana Brass, blending soulful brass with pop genius. He once mused, "I'm a Jew who plays my way through life, bridging cultures with every note." Legend has it that his lucky trumpet once played itself during a live set. Jack Klugman. Jack Klugman, the gruff yet endearing star of The Odd Couple and Quincy M.E., captivated audiences with his everyman charm. Born in Chicago to Jewish immigrant parents, he effortlessly balanced humor and pathos on screen. He'd remark, "I'm a Jew who's learned that life's too short to be serious," leaving viewers both moved and amused. He always sported a distinctive hat on set, a nod to his lucky charm. Michael Mann. Michael Mann, the visionary director with a penchant for gritty, atmospheric storytelling, redefined the crime drama. Born in Chicago to a Jewish family, his cinematic masterpieces, Heat and The Last of the Mohicans among them, reflected a relentless quest for detail and authenticity. He once noted, "I'm a Jew who sees beauty in chaos, merging precision with passion." Known for obsessively color-coding every script revision, his attention to detail was almost legendary. Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa Gabor, the dazzling Hungarian ingenue-turned socialite, charmed Hollywood with her glamorous wit and effervescent style. Born into a Jewish family, her larger-than-life persona and cheeky catchphrase, "I am a marvelous woman," turned every appearance into a spectacle. Her dramatic entrances, often in fur coats and with a trail of diamond-sprinkled perfume, became her signature move. Monty Hall. Monty Hall, the magnetic host of Let's Make a Deal, transformed chance into charm with every unpredictable twist. Born in Canada to Jewish parents, his engaging on-stage banter and knack for turning every offer into entertainment earned him a special place in TV history. He'd say, "I'm a Jew. Luck is in my blood," proving that fortune favors the bold. Always seen with his lucky charm in hand, a nod to his roots and ever-present good fortune. Marty Feldman. Marty Feldman, the brilliantly quirky British comic with eyes as expressive as his humor, redefined absurdity on screen. Born to a Jewish family in London, his outrageous features and anarchic timing shone in cult classics like Young Frankenstein. He often declared, "I'm a Jew whose eyes say it all," leaving audiences both baffled and delighted. His unmistakable ocular expressions often stole the scene, even in silence. Larry King. Larry King, the iconic talk show host with a gift for incisive conversation, made the art of the interview a cultural staple. Born Laurence Harvey in Brooklyn to a Jewish family, his rapid-fire questions and unflappable style brought luminaries and legends together. He'd remark, "I'm a Jew. Questions come naturally," turning dialogue into destiny. His signature suspenders and trademark mutton chops became as much a part of his identity as his probing queries. Billy Joel. Billy Joel, the piano man whose melodies captured the spirit of New York, spun everyday tales into timeless tunes. Born in the Bronx to a Jewish family, his rock ballads and wry lyrics resonated with generations. With a nod to his roots, he quipped, "I'm a Jew who writes the soundtrack of life," immortalizing the city's heartbeat. Known for impromptu concerts that sparked spontaneous fan gatherings, his live shows were as unpredictable as his riffs. Mae West, avant-garde filmmaker and poetic visionary, 1917 to 1961, who wove dreams into celluloid, born Eleonora Derenkowska to Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. She broke cinematic conventions with surreal narratives and dance-like editing in classics like Meshes of the Afternoon. She once mused, "I'm a Jew choreographing the subconscious," known for her midnight film experiments that blur reality with dreamscapes. Marian Seldes, commanding stage actress with a voice that carried both gravitas and wit. Born to Jewish immigrants, Seldes lit up Broadway and off-Broadway with fearless roles that captured the human spirit. Ever the consummate thespian, she quipped, "I'm a Jew who embodies every nuance of life on stage." Her secret habit of annotating vintage scripts turned her personal library into a treasure trove of theatrical lore. Michael Bennett, revolutionary director and choreographer, 1943 to 1987, whose visionary work on Broadway redefined musical theater. Born into a Jewish family, Bennett's masterful direction in A Chorus Line brought raw emotion and precision to the stage. He famously remarked, "I'm a Jew who dances with life's complexities." Known to break into impromptu tap routines backstage, igniting bursts of inspiration among his cast. Judith Malina, fearless radical actress and co-founder of the Living Theater, whose work defied convention. Born to a Jewish family, Malina fused art and activism to create performances that challenged societal norms. With a bold spirit, she declared, "I'm a Jew who speaks truth on every stage," frequently transformed unexpected public spaces into impromptu stages, turning everyday life into performance art. David Graham, versatile voice actor whose resonant tones brought countless animated characters to vivid life. Raised in a Jewish household, Graham lent his voice to legends in animation and captivated audiences with every character he embodied. He often joked, "I'm a Jew giving voices a new life, one character at a time," celebrated for recording entire dialogues in a single marathon session, a true feat of vocal stamina. Red Buttons, beloved comedian and Oscar-winning actor, known for his affable charm and impeccable timing. Born to Jewish parents, Buttons blended physical comedy with razor-sharp wit on stage and screen. He'd often quip, "I'm a Jew who finds laughter even in the darkest corners." His lightning-fast live retorts became the stuff of legend, leaving audiences roaring with delight. Marcia Strassman, captivating actress whose expressive performances lit up film and television, notably in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Born into a Jewish family, Strassman charmed viewers with her blend of sophistication and humor. Ever playful, she once joked, "I'm a Jew who shrinks expectations and magnifies dreams." Renowned for her spontaneous, heartfelt improvisations that often stole the scene on set.